Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. My name is Jason. I'm an alchemist, and I had a hell of a couple of days. Trying to shut off the fan. It's been rough. I had some really good ideas for videos. I was thinking about talking about how spaceships work, like the functional methods that they're exploiting in order to travel. I'm talking like spaceships that aren't of this world. And the energy of money. And as I pull in here to charge my car and talk about this, none of those are really screaming to me to speak, because I find myself in a state of, I guess, ungroundedness, where I'm struggling to keep myself in the body, out of the body. See, I can't even hardly talk. So I had to, first of all, I have a Patreon and a PayPal account linked to my page. And if anyone would feel like they'd like to contribute to the message that I'm bringing forward, you can go over there and contribute, and I would be forever grateful. Only if you have the finances available to do so, and if you like the message I'm sending. So I think I want to talk about the rise of the little guy. So I just watched a speech by Oliver Anthony, and I mean, I understand why he's so heated about this, and why I don't think he sees the bigger picture the way I see it, but I absolutely understand why he's heated about. Well, you've heard his song, hopefully. Rich Men North of Richmond. It's amazing, and it speaks to the struggle of the working class people and how hard it is to exist in this society that's been built to hold us down. There is no other way to describe it. It's 100% absolutely designed to hold us down. And in the state of mind and the frame of mind that I'm in, I find myself a little annoyed with it. So when I'm vibing high, let's say, and I'm flying high, I can see that I've wrote the story for myself. I can see that the divine play that I'm living in was always meant to go this way, and the timeline that I'm on is just that. It's divine. So nothing happens on accident, as they say. And that in order to have a hero arc and an interesting movie to watch, we need to be held down. The underdog has to win. And the majority of us who've tried to exist and succeed in the system as it stands right now, have beaten themselves off of a rock. We've all been traumatized by living in this. We've all struggled, to stay alive, many of us. We've all struggled with addictions of some kind, struggled to stay healthy, because every single thing in this place is designed to keep us like that. And I mean every single thing. For example, I'm sitting at a charging spot here. There's 4 chargers for electric vehicles, which are the petroleum that the exhaust from these gas-powered vehicles is extremely effective at lowering your vibration, in case you didn't know. So that's, of course, why that mode of transportation has been, let's say, encouraged in the past. As well as the lucky byproduct, that the petroleum industry has to exist in order to run these vehicles, which means we're all enslaved to the jobs in order to afford the petroleum to put in the vehicles, as well as in my particular case, I actually go out and drill these things. When in the reality is there are devices that would, well, some refer to them as 0-point devices, where electricity is essentially free. Not essentially, it's free. Now, there are people that know this, and they don't allow that to come out. But this is all part of the play. So, what am I getting at here? There's 4 spots here, 3 gas cars parked at the 4 spots. I had to squeeze into this one. I can barely get my door open. But at least I can charge my car. This spot is on a native reservation here in Canada. And uncoincidentally, these amazingly spiritual people who had arguably, but not so arguably, a much stronger connection to Mother Earth and the spirit world than we did, the colonizers. I mean, of course, I didn't do any of that, but I'm just here trying to survive in this system like everybody else. But, you know, historically, that's what happened. They came here and subjugated these people in order to prevent their message from actually growing. Their message was that Mother Earth is sacred and that nobody can actually own the land. And, well, of course, that's not very good for controlling people, is it? So, subjugation occurred, and then they allow these people to open these travel centers, and the main attraction at this particular travel center, which is very common at these locations all over the world, or at least North America, as far as I can tell, there's a gambling center attached, as well as they sell alcohol in here. And that I don't blame them for opening this center, because the government wants people to gamble, waste their money, and which means if you waste your money, which is energy, you waste your influence. And to keep you addicted to alcohol, much like I was, which keeps you weak and keeps you not connected. It's a crying shame, and it's the only way they can make a living, and it's the one that the government encourages them to open because they know what it's going to do to them. It's as simple as that. This is a strategy in a war. So, it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. Now, I've decided that I'm going to have to, in the meantime, go back into this unbelievable job of going into the oil field and working, because I absolutely need money, and I haven't been able to find a way to acquire any of this energy in order to keep the lights on and feed my family. So I have no choice. I'm not sure what that is, but I've accepted that that is the way it has to be. So the point of this is I had to go do some training in our local big city. And this training facility that I went to learn about hydrogen sulfide gas is located in a destitute part of the province. It's so depressing. I had to spend the day in a classroom with a bunch of other broken people, like myself, who are forced to work in this oil industry. It's in an industrial area. The sidewalks aren't kept up. There's nothing but big trucks and diesel fumes and tanks of petroleum all over the place. And so the energy in these locations is extremely poor to begin with. It's low vibrational. And our goal here is to try to increase our vibration. So that had me Not to mention I had to stay in a hotel the night before, which I didn't sleep well, and then you're exposed to all kinds of chemicals from the cleaners and etc. And there's a large portion of people in the area, which you can tend to feel as you're closer to it, that are of low vibrational quality as well. All right, so I'm off to a bad start here. I didn't sleep well. I had to drink coffee, which I haven't done in like 2 weeks because I was just so tired. And so that didn't help me. And then I finished my course early, and Amanda was with me, so I went walking. It was about 1 kilometer to the local coffee shop here. I just was going to go stand around and wait. And it was through this town that I'm talking about, and it is so depressing. So depressing. Everyone there is broken, as far as I can tell. And they're trying to make a living. There's rampant homelessness. There's people asking you for money, which I didn't have any, unfortunately. There goes one of the gas cars. I guess he ran out of money at the gambling machine. None of the houses are kept up. Any of the houses, buildings, anything. All the paint's chipping off them. You can tell that this at one point was a prosperous place. And now it has just gone to complete garbage. There's nothing left there for you. Oh, an electric car. Isn't that something? And so this town is decrepit. And I was walking down the street towards this coffee shop that I was talking about, and getting more and more depressed as I walked, and homeless people approached me for money, and there's one lone tree which I stopped to hug. And as I walked by this church, which at one point would have been an amazing place, it looks spectacular, was completely run down. All the paint was chipping off the windows. And worst of all, they had installed a 5G tower in the steeple of the church. You talk about insidious. People don't understand that everything is energy. And I'm sure the church was probably struggling for funds and was willing to accept the funds that they would get for allowing them to install this abomination at the top of their steeple. But the negative detrimental effect that is going to have on the parishioners and the people trying to get closer to God, I cannot overstate how important that is. Microwaves, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G, all of it is not natural to our immediate environment. It is not what we evolved to exist with, let alone have in a place of worship where we're trying to form a higher connection to our higher selves and God itself. So that was depressing. So I decided, I was just struggling, and Amanda came to pick me up, and I ended up having a autistic meltdown on the drive home, which was devastating. I don't know if anyone's if anyone's autistic, they probably know what I'm talking about. But essentially what it is we are highly sensitive beings. Literally highly sensitive to physical touch, smell, all of this stuff. And I've now realized we're also highly sensitive to the energetic environment we're in, as well as the people we're around. And I had just spent a lot of time draining my reserves of energy, let's put it that way. And when you have one of these, your brain essentially just turns off. You don't remember what's going on. You can't talk properly. You can't formulate ideas. It's it's horrible. And then you go into fight or flight mode because your body needs to get out of whatever environment you've put it in order to get you to the point where you're in that state. And so it'll get angry. It'll do fight or flight. It's either going to leave or it's going to start yelling at people to get away from you. And essentially that's what happened. I mean, I'm in a car, so I couldn't really get away. And the worst part is you can't see these things coming, because it's almost like, it'd almost be like a diabetic who doesn't see the low sugar event coming on, and they're just delirious by the time someone figures out what's going on with them. So I rely a lot on Amanda to warn me and see when things are like this are coming. But I just realized that how hard it is for me to exist in this world. But the big part of this was accepting that that's who I am, and that there is nothing wrong with me. I always feel bad when this happens, but what can I do differently other than try to avoid situations that put me in that state? So that's what I do, but I had one, and I had one in order to face the fact that I absolutely need to accept that that's who I am and that it's okay. I wouldn't criticize myself if I had diabetes. Why am I doing it because I have autism? It's ridiculous. So that happened. Had a rough trip home, and I've essentially been in recovery mode here for the last couple of days, trying to get back to a state of being well grounded and happy. And I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm struggling. It's hard to get there. So I don't know what this video is about, but it's about this state of things in society and how bad it's gotten. But also, I know without a doubt, that this is going to change. The little guy is going to win. The hero arc is starting. Those of us that are enraged by injustice in the world will have our day. We will get to watch as the world shifts and becomes equitable and fair for everybody, and where love is the dominating force as opposed to fear. But it isn't going to happen overnight. Every system in this world it's designed to hold us down. We have to change all of it. So in order to do that, that's going to take a lot of work. You can't change all of these gas cars overnight. Just not possible. I mean, an electric car would be very easy to convert if you had the puppy. Guy's got a little golden retriever puppy. It's adorable. Anyway, the electric cars would be easy to convert because you just have to drop the battery and insert this 0-point energy device, and then you'd have a car that could go for infinity without charging. But the gassers will take a lot longer, and they are the dominant mode of transportation. So I'm losing sight of what I was trying to say here. The little guy is going to win. The princes will be walking, and the pauper will be on the horse. And it's coming. I just wish it would come faster. I wish it would come before I have to go work in the oil field again. I pray for that every day, and I just can't see how it's going to go. I'm not supposed to. It would ruin the surprise. But man, it would be awfully nice if I didn't have to see all those homeless people and churches with Wi-Fi tower or 5G towers in them, and spewing toxic chemicals, all the vehicles spewing toxic chemicals all over the environment, and clear cutting forest to put in a divided highway, and it just hurts my heart to see the state that we've gotten to, and the state that Mother Earth is in, and how little regard we have for her. How far these stewards of this land have fallen as a people because of the oppression that has been put on them. It's just sad, and I pray for the day, and I pine for the day when all of these chains that have been put on all of us get thrown off, and guys like that who are revving a big dirty diesel truck are no longer, I mean, not the guy, but the behavior. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. Like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.